Hello, this is Mr. Huff, and let's take a look at this Keyguard design. We have a basic sketch worked out and on paper, so now we're going to try to bring that into our design on this Keyguard. So when we look at this at the top, this is going to be the top edge of the iPad. This is the surround for the camera, and this is the surround for the home button. What I've done is taken one of the ones that I know worked well, and I have deleted the frame that was in that, so now we have to add a new frame. So one of the things you'll need to pay attention to is where top is and the orientation. Because the design we are going to be doing is symmetric, I want to get the sketch at the back, so I'm going to rotate to the bottom of the iPad. So we still have our orientation where this top edge is the top, and I'm going to start a sketch on this plane. So I'm clicking the back of the iPad, and then we're going to use the, let's see, we're going to use the project, and I'm going to just click the edges, the back edges, to define our sketch here. And what I want to do is just make this along the inside edge of this iPad frame. Okay, so now I have this one. Let's name this, right click and rename it. And this is the frame boundary. Okay, oh, I had this right the first time, A-R-Y, okay. And what we should be able to do now is, let's see if we can hide this, and now we're left with this frame boundary. Now we can rotate it around back to the front, or the top rather. And this is where I'm going, so you can see where the iPad frame is, but we are going to use this to define our, the Keyguard, okay? So now we're ready to go in and start a sketch inside here. So I'm gonna keep editing this sketch, and since we've got it in place and we've got everything else hidden, I'm gonna use a construction line, and then this, just draw a line. So we're drawing construction lines, and I'm just going to randomly run some across from one side to the other. So we have one, L for line, we'll do another one, and we have to have 5 lines. So there's 2, well, we also need that to be construction line. What does this change to a construction line? Q. So we're going to use the commands L and Q. So escape, and then we do L, Q, and one about the, I don't want to connect it to that midpoint. I want to be able to move that. So be careful about connecting things where you can move them. And then L and Q, and then L and Q. Oh, escape a couple of times. And then LQ from here to here, okay? And what we had talked about is we were going to have 35 millimeters from here to here, so I'm going to go in and throw a measurement in. Actually, let's do this. I'm going to go to the top up here, and I'm going to add a variable. Let me go spread this out so I can get to the variable button. All right, I figured it out. So you can't add a variable while you're in sketch mode. So I'm going to finish my sketch, and then I'm going to go add a variable. So we're going to go up here to the top, and I have some already. So it should it should be right here. So let's do this, and there it is. That's the variable. So we're going to click on that. We're going to give it a new name. So we're going to call it top space, and it's going to be 35 millimeters. and check on that. Then we're going to add another one that is the button space one, or top, and I'll call it row or something like that. So this is going to be our rows, and they're going to be 25 millimeters each. And using variables is going to let us kind of manipulate things a little easier. We'll move those up in just a moment. The other one we're going to use is the space from left to right. So let's call that vert space. So for vertical space, and it's 26.25 per our calculations in our other in our paperwork. Okay. So now I can squeeze this back up and we can continue working. Before you can use these, you have to have them before the place where you want to use them. I like to keep all my variables at the very top. So I'm just going to move these up here. So the ones we want to use are top space, and then we'll have our rows, and then we'll have our vertical space. I guess it should be rows or columns. I don't know. You just have to know what the words mean, and you're good to go. All right, so here we go. Let's get back into this and edit this. So double click on that. We're going to continue editing this. So for our first measurement, we're going to go here to here, and that is going to be hashtag, and that is our top space, 35 millimeters. And the reason we do this is if we need to go change that, we just go change the variable and it moves everything with it. Okay, the next one we need is going to be from here to here. And that is going to be, if I hit enter, or click and then do hashtag, and this is top row, 25 millimeters. And we're going to repeat that. So, and there's other ways to do this. You can make it where they're equivalent, but we're just going to put hashtag top and row. That's good. And then we'll keep going on. Boom, boom. And hashtag. That is not what I wanted. I hit a shortcut key to make it go to the left. Okay, so that's what I need now. Hashtag top row. And one more time. Top row. Bam. Okay. Now, to make this a little tidier, what we're going to do is we're going to drag these measurements outside of this, because these spaces are going to get pretty cluttered if we're not careful. So I want to grab that, drag it over, grab this, drag it over. And this is just a framework for now. Okay. Grab this one, drag it over. Next thing I want to do is I want to move this out of the way. We're going to add a point, and I want to find the midpoint of this line. And I think that was it right there. And then that's going to let us go line and construction line. And now we're going to go from here to the bottom like that. And now we have a space where we can go in and start defining the other buttons. So let's go add in our 3 on each side, our 3 lines on each side. So we're going to go LQ. And I'm going to randomly place these for now, just the top to the bottom. And then escape LQ, do it again. Top to bottom, and escape LQ, and top to bottom. I think what I'm gonna do is move these over a little bit to make them where when I start adding my measurements in, they're getting pulled to the center. So I'm gonna grab this one and move it over here, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, LQ. We could use mirrors for this, but just for this tutorial, this will be okay. LQ is a shortcut to go to a construction line. And then escape LQ is another construction line. So the last thing we have to do is start dimensioning. So we're going to start with the center line, and we're going to add dimensions here. So we're going to go from, we're going to use this dimension, and we're going to go from the center to here. And this is going to be vert row, so we're going to put hashtag V. And there's our vertical space, and the one that's 26.25. And then we're just going to do that over and over. So we're going to get the dimension again from here to here. Why did that not work? Dimension, D for dimension. Bam, bam. And then the vertical space, 26.25. And then one more time. And hashtag vert space. And that one will leave whatever's left here. So it's not exactly 210, so this one's going to be a little bit off, and that's okay. Here to here, we're going to do the same thing. And we can go outside down here, and we can put hashtag vert space, enter, and we'll do it from this one to this one, same thing. Hashtag vert space, okay. And the last one will be this one from here to here. All right, hashtag vert space. All right, that finishes our sketch. So if you look at this, what we have is we have our boundaries, and then we have made a framework in here to show where the buttons are. So we're going to hit check, and that is enough for now. All right, thanks for watching.